Going through the checklist. Where are all the things that are X'd out here? How are you?
Very good. How is it going with Mike Ayley today?
It's going great. Can you hear me well enough? Clear enough?
Yeah, everything sounds good on my end.
Excellent. I'm actually like not at home. I'm at my mom's place. I did not want to change the schedule again, but kind of got mushed around. So this is the adjustment. I'm in her place, and she's an artist, a visual artist, and so now I've got these cool paintings around me.
Very good. So it's like that. We got Mike Ayley here, and he's talking about the new EP. It's like
That's the one.
it's pretty good. The quality you've designed, and you got visualizers on YouTube going on, and it's like the whole package it seems to be coming out of this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Getting the songs together from my So when I first started, it was early in the old COVID break that we all didn't know we were going to have, and I figured I better start learning how to make my own music because I was going crazy. I went from having these really rough demos to re-recording in the studio, and then you get that all done. You're like, okay, my work is done here, and then the label's like, okay, we need videos for this, and we need promo things for that, and you're like, oh my god! And it was just as much work doing the
Yeah.
post music work as it was creating the actual music itself. But there's a good chunk of stuff out there now.
Now, let's say for the visualizers and all that, were you really responsible in creating this yourself?
Yes. The Walking Hill video, I was my concept, and I was trying to find a way to do it traditionally with like live action, or I think it's what they called with humans. You know what I mean? And the more we talked about it, it was like we're gonna have to like cut this and cut and that. And I'm like, can we just do animated so it's actually gonna get the message across what it's hopefully supposed to be? And we found a way to do that. So I was actually really happy, and it makes it a little less about me and more just about the song, which is kind of what I want with all of it. If you notice the cover of the EP, it's not really Mike. It's just like the idea and hopefully a feeling. And then Roman is the content guy at 64, and he definitely helped. He had some ideas, and then we sort of ironed them out together. So maybe it's kind of like this or like that. But I was involved in all of them, but he definitely was a helpful input on much of it.
And Mike, let's say where you get the ideas, to get everything done because it's a lot of work. Certainly, just choosing the album cover or the EP cover, let's say.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. I was like, they're like, okay, so you need a cover, and I'm like, oh God, what does the cover look like? But I had just come up with the title well after the fact, Golden Hour, and then thought, how do I capture that feeling of Golden Hour in one single image? And then the idea of sort of sitting there in a pensive state, but like in the rich lighting and in a still at the same time too, was sort of the idea. I thought maybe it would be in a bedroom window with the light coming in, but it was going to be harder to get that. And I happened to live in a place with a rooftop patio, and the sun was like just going down and beautiful. My wife was like, let's go get a picture of this. So we are trying to do it. She's like, get up on the roof. So I climbed up on the roof, and then we took some pictures and found some good ones, and then sent them to Roman, the same guy, and he enhanced the skyline to make it look a little more like it was painted and not just a photograph.
Yeah.
But that one took a bit to come to as well.
And like working on the EP, let's say with up up up, that's a certain song with a interesting concept, the way it's done. How many hours do you put into thinking on doing this stuff? Because it is unique material.
Thanks. I sometimes wonder whether the unique stuff comes from the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm doing
Okay.
it mostly myself, which I think is a good thing. Like sometimes you learn things, but when you don't know, sometimes you make accidents that turn into cool things. So on Up Up Up, I had the verse was just I just was playing around. I was like, okay, let's get a song with a groove, and I want to play around. And I actually had three bass parts, just because I was like, oh, let's layer basses for fun. But that the doom doom woom was kind of like a Lou Reedish Take a Walk in the Wild Side. There's all this bass stuff going on. It's a little bit toned down in this version from the demo. And instead of the third bass, which was kind of just background, almost noise, by the time I was done with all the reverb and stuff on it, we did a sort of spacious guitar. But with the demos, I remember sending an early version of the song to Josh, and it just had the verse and chorus. And then I was like, what do you think? And he's like, well, it sounds to me like it's a verse and a pre-chorus, and the chorus hasn't been discovered yet. And I thought that was a great way of looking at it. Not like it's not good, but it could add something that makes it even better.
Okay.
So I was searching for a chorus, and then I put one down. I was like, I don't know, it feels a little weird. Maybe it's just the bridge. So it ended up being the bridge, and then I was gonna put it down. I was still trying to do it as a chorus at this point, though. And when I put it down at the end, I had the singing from another part over top of the wrong music, but it totally worked. Where like the music is kind of like at halftime, but the singing was still doing something else. I can't remember exactly what the mistake was, but it was literally a cut and paste error. I was off by like 4 bars, and they put it down. I was like, oh my god, there it is! Like all of a sudden, you're like, this song just found this whole new identity, and it created this for me the payoff at the end, which really makes the song worth the ride.
Let's say, I mean, you work so hard making this material, and then it's to promote this stuff because it's like you work hard writing it and producing it. Let's say you got to make the album covers, make the visualizers. Now, how do you promote this thing? You know, because with the Spotify's and the Apple Music, it's something else. It's like a whole different planet now. Like,
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and it's funny because radio used to be try to get some radio traction and play shows and introduce your music. You know, if it's shows, hopefully a few hundred people while you're opening up for somebody else, and hopefully some radio stations add you and people hear you and check it out. And that was the way it was when we were first starting out in Marianas Trench. And now radio is mostly following things like TikTok. So you're like, I guess I got to get on TikTok, but every single person is trying to do that.
yeah,
So, like, the cool thing about not having all these gatekeepers that once controlled everything is that anybody has a chance. For me, the downside of that is that because everybody has a chance, now there's nobody filtering out noise and hopefully at least taking out the 90% that probably isn't that great, or not ready yet or something like that. Hopefully mine would still make it in at 10%. Maybe it wouldn't. Because now instead of, trying to find that one fish in a lake, you're trying to find that one fish in an ocean. That's what it feels like. You're one fish trying to be discovered. But I mean, I guess you just put it out and hope that if it's good, it connects. Or my goal is I just want it to hit people's ears. If it reaches people's ears, they'll have a chance to discover it and dig in. And if it doesn't, that's the fear, is that people don't even have a chance to know if they like it.
right. And it's like kind of like niche now. Is like the people that know it like it and just keep it to themselves in a sense.
Yeah, that's the worst. Like, if you like it, tell somebody, please.
But I just find that the world's so much different now because it's like the people just don't even express themselves to other people in person. It seems, it's all.
Yeah, in person, things have definitely changed. Hold on. Let's talk about this, but I need to get my phone out. Are you ready? And then
Yeah,
emojis. Will you understand if I send it in emojis?
maybe make an emoji album.
Oh my God. I think somebody did something like that. But if not, I should do it.
The stuff is getting crazy. Let's
Yeah.
just say. But it's like that with this promotion. I mean, for a golden hour, it's like it's going well, I presume, and it's like it's getting some traction. I will imagine because I mean I listen to it and I think it's got the choice to
Thank you.
go there or even higher. I mean, it's got the positivities in it, to make
Great.
something. So,
Yeah, that's one thing. A lot of the messages there, even though they're songs written about maybe a sad or a bittersweet feeling, there's always deliverance of like hope and optimism. That's more the way I look at life. So, like the up one, it's looking back on memories and all this stuff that are really, really precious to you, but not wishing you could be there, just being happy to have had those experiences, but looking forward and not spending your whole life looking back,
let's say going in the studio making this stuff or wherever you made it, because today you can make anything anywhere most likely.
Yeah.
Like, what type of instrument did you use to start off? Like certain songs, because it's like people sometimes keyboards, bass for you, or
Yeah, it depends on the song. I mean, sometimes when I don't know what I do, I'll literally start with a tempo.
okay,
Like I've gone one days and go, oh, I need an upbeat song. Okay, bam. Actually, that's probably how up started. It's funny because it ended up turning into more like a half tempo, slower song, but it was supposed to be like that bop 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 was the idea.
right,
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that click track in there, and then just see what happens. I probably started playing bass, do 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 do, like the progression. I'm like, okay, that's basic. I can always change it, and then played the bass around it, and I was like, well, what if I did that? And then all of a sudden, an idea starts to emerge, and then you dig in a bit, and what if it does this? And no, that sucks. Well, maybe it does this. And a lot of times, I usually start with music. Sometimes I'll just grab a loop out of like the DAW. They'll have some pre-programmed loops just to get some sort of feel and groove, and then get rid of it later once I know what the song is and the drum part should be and programming them. But almost always the vocals are last, and the melody usually starts to come to me right around the time when I'm finishing the music. Things start to like, I'm humming things. Then I'll usually do a couple takes of vocals where it's like, I'll sometimes do a piano track of a rough vocal melody and see if I like it. And then I'll try to chase some vowel shapes and sometimes some key words. But sometimes the words come earlier too. It's really weird. It's not like, brackets, exponents, division, multiplications. It's not like bed mass or whatever, where it's got a certain order it has to be.
It was like that when you are writing the songs, is it maybe lyrics you just collected throughout the years, or is it just you're writing it right now?
They're new. The lyrics are new. The only song in there that has something borrowed from myself in the past was, so when I was young, I was playing around and wrote a few pretty basic, crappier songs, as your first 5 or 10 songs probably are. But in Kaleidoscope, there's the piano part that boom, 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 boom. It's something like that. I can't actually sing it very well because it's out of my range. And that was just a little guitar part. It was like 1-2% of that whole song. But I was like, that part's actually pretty good. And it kept the progression, but like brought it in, and it ended up being just this background piano, but it totally set the tone and the feel for the whole song. So that's about it. Everything else I've just sort of found as I was going. I don't feel like I've like made it up or calculated it. Just sort of like, I don't know, you just kind of find it in there.
Let me just tell you, it's a good product, and like it's
Thank you.
got to do something. It's the feeling and the vibe of it is very good, and it's what we need in 2022 and 20. Yeah. So
thanks, Jason.
That's the way I gotta say it. And Mike, Ayley, I hope you have a good one, and just promoting this album. And
thank you so much. Yeah, the work is not done.
It never is done for
no, it never is.
The artist trying to do something, I guess.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day, man.
All right, you have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.